Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Club World Cup deadline day. And welcome to all your latest Chelsea transfer news and another shit show. Mike Maignan to Chelsea, deal off. Exclusive from Fabrizio in the last 35, 40 minutes. Deal off. £4 million gap in valuation. Chelsea refusing to meet that price. Deal is off. Plus, Jamie Gittens is not expected to sign before the deadline either for the Club World Cup. So there is two players that we wanted to sign and two players who are not going to come in before the deadline. The Maignan deal is off. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. What a complete and utter waste of everybody's time. Everybody's time, complete waste. Complete waste. And now we've got all the briefings coming out. Oh, Maresca didn't ask for a new goalkeeper. Oh, Chelsea retained full trust in their current goalkeepers, which is why they were fucking trying to sign someone who's better than all their current goalkeepers. But they retained full trust, and Maignan was only an opportunity, and Maresca didn't really want a new goalkeeper. The sporting directors want a deal, but only at their price. All bollocks. All utter bollocks. We bottled it once again when it comes to signing a top player. We bottled it. Don't allow any club briefings or club PR to gaslight you to think anything else. We bottled a deal once again for a top-class player, and we bottled it over £4 million. £4 million. We bottled it over. Bottlers again, ole. That is what we are. No problem whatsoever spending 30, 40 million pounds on a random kid who's never going to kick a ball for us. But we draw the line at £25 million over a top-class goalkeeper who's going to make a massive difference to our team. That's where we draw the line. We're a joke. We're an absolute joke when it comes to this. You know, there are certain deals which you hold your ground on. £25 million for Mike Maignan is not a deal that you hold your ground on. You know, a deal for Ekitike or Gittens, absolutely, you're strong with your stance. This sort of deal, you do not hold your ground and dig your heels in over £4 million. We're not talking about ridiculous money here. We're talking about 4 million. And people are talking to me about overpaying. People are talking to me about overpaying. £30 million on Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, £45 million on Joao Felix, £19 million on Amari Kellyman, £16 million on Aaron Anselmino, to name a few. And you're telling me about overpaying. You're saying that £25 million is overpaying for a top-class goalkeeper. And that's where you're drawing the line. Nah, it's bollocks. It's bollocks. Big up to everyone that's locked in, by the way. Big love to everyone. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new round here as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. I don't know where to begin, chat. I don't know where to begin. Let's say hello to a few people first. And then we're going to get into it. Guys, I'm going to have to start at the bottom. I'm just going to start at the bottom, chat, and we'll get through it. Spot on. Club World Cup will look like fools. Explain this to me. Who we are? Kellyman for 20. Yeah. I know. Kelleher was available for 18 mil. Yep. Bro, we're not being played by Milan. This is the sort of shit that they want you to believe. You're being gaslit. You're being gaslit into thinking this is an overpayment. Not one single Chelsea fan, if you said at the end of the season, right, after the Conference League final, we could sign Mike Maignan for £25 million, every single person would say, unbelievable deal, great deal, let's get it done. Now, after a week of briefs, people are being gaslit. People are being gaslit into thinking that £25 million is an overpayment. They don't even want 25. They want 20. £20 million, and people are being gaslit after a week of briefs saying that this is an overpayment. I'm sorry. It's bullshit. You know, exactly. 25 M's on Sanchez as well. The list goes on and on and on, and yet the club are drawing the line at 20 mil on a top-class goalkeeper. It's honestly a joke. It's a joke. Are we going to go back in afterwards? I've got no idea. But let's just start with it. Let's just get straight into it, chat. The exclusive dropped. And I had a feeling we were going to get this. I had a feeling we had nothing last night, and you just knew we were going to wake up and it was going to be Chelsea, Maignan deal off, and then the brief. Ooh, full trust in the current goalkeepers. Oh, yes, full trust in them. Yeah, something new, Club World Cup tax. And I'm sure to a certain extent, there is such a thing as Club World Cup tax. Teams are obviously going to try and exploit a bit more money out of these clubs, for sure. I agree. But if it was like 10 million quid, I'd hear it. £4 million, and we've decided deal off. Nah, that's where we're drawing the line. What a complete and utter waste of everyone's time. It's a complete waste of everyone's time, chat. Not yesterday, the Monday before, we had the first approach. News, Chelsea approached Mike Maignan, AC Milan over a deal for Mike Maignan. We would have known from day one, we would have known they weren't budging on their price. We could have found that out after a day or two. So why did we long it out for over a week, dangling the stick in front of everyone, getting everyone's hopes up, and then to bottle it and walk away for 4 million quid? Okay, you should have known. You should have just walked away after day one or day two, because you knew they weren't changing their stance on their price. Should have walked away after day one or day two. And yet here we are. Over a week later, we've longed it out for a week, a complete and utter waste of everyone's time. And the fact of the matter is, we refuse to match by the way, this is a very reasonable asking price. He's a clear upgrade on what we've got, and he's a goalkeeper who's amongst the best in the world. How many players have we signed under Clearlake? Fucking loads, probably 50 odd players. You know, we've wasted so much money. Disassi, Badiashile, Ugochukwu, Sterling, Koulibaly. And this is where we draw the line. I just, honestly, you know, this is one of the most avoidable errors of a mistake-ridden era. And we're just not learning. We're just not learning from our mistakes. We're not learning from our mistakes. You know, this is a very, very simple deal to do. And this is not about being, oh, I was right, you were wrong. I desperately wanted to be wrong. But I know how this football club operates. I know how these directors operate. And I know that when there's a serious transfer to be done, our arseholes go and we bottle it. And we absolutely bottle it. Bro, Matisse was right. I remember I brought the tweet up on the screen last week or whenever it was. And Matisse was getting cooked, absolutely cooked for that. And now he will be collecting his apologies. He will be collecting his apologies because everything that he said was spot on. Everything that he said was spot on. Because we're not serious operators. We're not serious operators. If Mike Maignan had Manchester City on his CV, we would have signed him. We would have signed him. Mike Maignan, Manchester City on the CV. But no, that's where we've drawn the line. I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. When do you ever get presented with an opportunity to sign a top-class goalkeeper for pennies, for absolute pennies? You don't. We've wanted Maignan for years. We've been tracking him for years. And you get a chance to sign him for £20 million and you fumble it. And then we got the embarrassing club briefs coming out as well. It's honestly, it's pathetic. Bro, this is not about, we're not going to get him. That's done. It's done. It is absolutely done. We are finished. But don't worry, guys. We've got the baby Courtois, and he's going to be ready in 3 or 4 years' time. The baby Courtois Penders. Oh, yeah, that's great. These fucking clowns. And then look how embarrassing this is. Look at this embarrassment here. And they think we're idiots. They think we're idiots, chat. Look at this. As Felix has pointed out correctly, Fabrizio said he was perfect for the system and Maresca watches a lot of Italian football. These tweets here from Nizar and Ben Jacobs, 2 minutes apart. Look how similar they are. Penders and Jorgensen cost 45 million last summer. Penders is seen as one of the best teenage goalkeepers. Sanchez had a good last 6 games to qualify for Champions League. Maresca didn't ask for a new goalkeeper. Bollocks, he did ask for a new goalkeeper. Recruitment led by directors who explored Maignan, but only at the right price. Worth noting, Chelsea still retain full faith. Chelsea spent around £45 million, copy and paste. Maignan was a market opportunity explored by the directors. Enzo Maresca not driving the move. Chelsea sticking to their valuation. How stupid do they think we are? They think we are utter idiots. They think we are fucking morons. How stupid do they think we are? Like this, look, this is not against either of Ben Jacobs or Nizar Kantilla. They are doing their jobs and they're putting out the information that they're being given by the clubs. How stupid do the club think we are? The club think we are honestly utter idiots. They think we are morons. I mean, seriously, is this what we're doing? To be fair, some of us are idiots because there are people in this fan base that have been gaslit into thinking that we're overpaying and that was a good thing for us to walk away. Nah, this is not just, this is not about, it's just a keeper. It's not about that. This is about a top class player we could have signed who is an instant upgrade on what we've currently got, and we've screwed it up. We've bottled it. Look at the briefings. Look at it. With trying to save face. I'm done with this nonsense. I'm done with this nonsense, guys. Any other serious club completes this deal. Any serious club completes this deal. You know, I'm sick of these briefings that they're trying to lie to us. We're not gullible idiots. You know, when they put these briefs out, it just makes people less inclined to trust the club. Actions speak louder than words. We have seen the actions, and the actions are not matching the words. Very, very simple, chat. The actions are not matching the words. You know, oh yeah, Chelsea are prepared to sign top-class players this summer. Chelsea are prepared to do this and that. All empty air, all hot air, all waffle. Because at the end of the day, we aren't prepared to do shit other than sign bang average players with a resale value. That's what we're prepared to do. That's what we're prepared to do, chat. Yeah, where's our UCL money? Are you telling me that UCL money, that extra 100 million from the UCL, that we can't use £3 or £4 million of that? We can't use £3 or £4 million over that. It's nonsense. I mean, sorry, if people think I'm overreacting, that's absolutely fine. But surely there's not people in the chat who are saying to me that they're happy with this, they're fine with this. Don't worry, we're gonna get him later on in the window. What makes you think we're going to get him later on in the window? What makes you think that? You know, Sky reported yesterday, Carve Solocol, that if a deal's not agreed, Chelsea will walk away from Maignan, which indicates they're not going to go back in for him. They looked at it, they saw it as an opportunity. They weren't prepared to meet the valuation, and now that's it. And it's a really, really poor indictment of this football club. Whether it was right or wrong to try and get Maignan for cheaper is neither here nor there. It just looks bad for the football club because you've gone for an established name as a new number one. You failed to get them because you bottled it over £4 million. And now you're putting briefs out claiming to be happy with your current goalkeepers. How on earth are you happy with your current goalkeepers when you actively tried to sign a new number one? And now, because you bottled it, you're claiming you're happy with your current goalkeepers. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. And I am fuming about it. I don't know if you've noticed, chat. I don't know if you noticed. I am fuming about it because it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't normally get this annoyed about things, but I am very, very annoyed about this. Very annoyed about this. Look, if Petrovic ends up being the number one, okay, it's not a complete and utter disaster, but it's a massive disappointment when you've had Maignan dangled in front of you as if the deal's going to get done. You know, Petrovic is a good goalkeeper, had a great season at Strasbourg, and that's fine. You know, he ranked very highly with in Europe's top 5 leagues for a number of important metrics, right? But people are glazing Petrovic like he's the next coming of Petr Cech. He isn't. Okay, he's a good goalkeeper, but he's nowhere near as good as what people think. You know, we don't need these reasons, you know. You either don't put these stupid briefs out because you're now briefing you believe in the goalkeepers, but you've publicly admitted to going for a better goalkeeper than all your current ones. You either sign the player, chat, or you don't sign a player. Don't give me reason after reason as to why you didn't sign said player. I don't need that. We don't need that. I don't want to be gaslit. I don't want any stupid reasons making out that us fans are idiots. You didn't sign the player. That's it. Draw the line at that. I don't want reason after reason after reason for your sheer and utter incompetence. I'm this, honestly. What the fuck are we doing, chat? What are we doing? This is all bullshit. Get those sickening briefs off my fucking screen. Honestly. It's just so predictable. A complete and utter waste of time. And this is what I'm saying, chat, right? Is that there are certain deals that you stand firm on. And there are other deals where you pay the money because they're great value and you just get them in. Why are we playing stupid games over £4 million? We're playing stupid games over 4 million. Think of the bang average players we've signed over the years. Think of how many average players you're probably going to sign this summer. And you draw the line at 4 million. This was from Daniele Longo, Italian journalist. Growing tensions, conditions not in place to close the Maignan deal. Gap of 5 million between the clubs. So 5 million euros, about 4 million quid. I mean, look, there probably is a Club World Cup tax to a certain degree. But are we really doing this, chat? Are we really doing up Club World Cup tax? £4 million. 4 million. No, this is not about Milan. This is not about Milan. Milan have got every single right to drag their heels in and stand firm on their valuation. This is their club captain and their number one goalkeeper. They've got every right to ask for a very reasonable asking price of £20 million. They've got every right. They've got every right to ask for £20 million. £20 million for your number one and your club captain, regardless of if he's got a year left on his contract or not, is very good value for money. AC Milan aren't idiots. They're not idiots either. Bro, we're not going to sign him next week, though, are we? That's the point. Milan aren't going to wait a week and suddenly go, yeah, we'll accept 15 million euros. They're not going to do that, are they? They're not going to literally be like, oh, by the way, next week, so 4 days later after we couldn't agree a fee, but by the way, next week, yeah, you can have him for 15 million euros. Let's not be silly here. That's not happening, is it? That's not how this works. Look, they didn't. We made ourselves look like idiots. We knew what the price was. Milan weren't going to drop their price, and we longed it out for a week. And we made it was amateur hour in negotiations. And the only people who look like idiots here are us. The only people that look like idiots are us in this situation. No, it's just so stupid for 4 million quid. And I still want him. I want us to sign this goalkeeper, and I still want him at the football club. But I mean, do we honestly think though, chat, that when Maignan can sign a pre-agreement, when Maignan can sign a pre-agreement in January, right? So Mike Maignan can sign a pre-agreement. No, it said on the Fabrizio's tweet, Club World Cup tax. If there's a Club World Cup tax or not, I don't know. I suspect that teams maybe will ask for a bit more money for clubs in the Club World Cup. They might well do. I'm not saying Milan are doing that in this situation. I don't know whether they are or aren't. But I would find it very hard to believe that in the space of a few days, like next week, so on Monday, for example, they'll be like, yeah, actually, do you know what? You can have them for 15 million quid. They're not doing that, are they? They're not doing that. That's the point that I'm making here. And you look at the transfer market, you look at the way, bro, I agree. I honestly think that was our opportunity to get the deal done. If I'm wrong and it somehow ends up happening, then fine. We can hold our hands up and we can apologize. No problem whatsoever. Okay. And people are saying, oh yeah, great, it'll be Petrovic in goal. It might be Petrovic in goal. But how do we know that these guys aren't going to cash in on Petrovic? How do they know that if a £30 million offer came in for Petrovic, which is double what we paid for him, how do we know they're not going to sell him? But Maignan might think, do you know what? Maignan might think, I'll stay at Milan for a year, and then I will choose whatever club I want to go to on a free next year. I'll have whatever club I want to go to because a load more clubs will enter the race when he's on a free transfer, and Chelsea will not have a free run at Maignan. So Maignan will have a lot of top clubs to pick from if it goes to a free, which is another reason why we needed to get this deal done. Another reason we needed to get this deal done, chat. It's honestly, it's baffling. It's absolutely baffling. But chat, keep smashing the like button. Keep subscribing if you're new around here as well. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But yeah, guys, run the likes up. We're on 121. Let's get this to 150, 200 likes, and keep subscribing. Road to 20K, chat. Road to 20K. We need 50 more subscribers to hit 16.8. There's 428 in the building. Let's get as many of these chalks off as we possibly can. So run it up, chat. Run it up. But yeah, let's have a look what Fabrizio is saying. So far, what we're saying is really, as Pice has put here, and I couldn't have really summed it up better myself. A guide to Chelsea's transfer window under Clearlake. Number 1, ex-Man City players with Joe Shields appreciation. Number 2, Jorge Mendes clients. Number 3, stockpiling 16 to 21-year-olds on inflated fees. PSR direct swap deals. Lazy Brighton scouting. That is the guide. That is what we do, chat. That is the guide to Chelsea's transfer window. And yeah, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek and it's taking a piss and it's having a dig at the club. But it is true. Let's look at our transfer business, chat. Let's look at our transfer business. And this is exactly what we do. This is what we do. Burnley asking for 30 mil for their goalkeeper. Newcastle approaching, but we can't pay 20 for Maignan. I swear, if we go in for James Trafford and we pay 30 M's, I'm going to lose. My head will fall off. My head will fall off if we go in for James Trafford. I mean, honestly, it's just so stupid because you shouldn't be picking and choosing what deals you go for. You know, I'm not saying that for every deal you should pay said amount of money. It's beyond embarrassing. Like, of course, hold your ground on certain deals, Gittens, Ekatike, and whatever. You know, and the biggest thing for me is, and what I think what pisses people off more, what pisses people off more than anything is not missing out on the players, is the fact they treat us like absolute idiots. Absolute idiots, when actually a lot of people know more. A lot of people in the football Twitter space and the YouTube space or whatever, a lot of people actually know more than the people in charge, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm just so done with this nonsense and like why, you know, it's just so stupid, and we are just fucking idiots. I knew that 18 million pound bid that DiMarzio were saying we put in was bollocks. Of course it was. It was utter bollocks. There was no way that deal was true. No way. You know, and people are getting angry at people for being pissed off about it. You know, and in the end, we're correct. You know, rather than people should be getting angry at the sporting directors. They bottled one of the world's best keepers for a cheap fee. I don't care about it's not about being right. I want it to be wrong. But people are lapping up this notion that a week of briefs and suddenly they're thinking, oh my God, £25 million is overpaying for Mike Maignan. It's nowhere near overpaying. It's nowhere near overpaying. No, bro, it's reacting to the news at the time. That's what this is. Reacting to the news at the guy. You know, it's annoying because the deal's there to be done. The deal is there to be done. So why are you not just doing it? Every single time we get linked with a top class player, we fumble it. Elise fumbled. 2 summers in a row, we fumbled Elise. The Osimhen deal, I don't know if I say we fumbled Osimhen, but we pursued Osimhen all summer. Pretty similar to this Mike Maignan deal. We pursued Osimhen all summer, and then because we thought at the last minute he'd cave in, and we thought Milan would do the same thing. These clubs are not caving in. They're not going to suddenly drop their prices. Every time under this ownership that we've been presented with an opportunity to sign a top-class player, we have fumbled it. We have bottled it. Every time we've bottled it. 3 now. Osimhen, Maignan, and Elise. Okay? Every time. I mean, there's absolutely no chance. Sure, I understand in their eyes he's got no resale value. But what I would say is, right, these guys are arguing over £4 million. But with Maignan in the team, that £4 million is like one position in the table. The difference between having Maignan in the team and not having Maignan in the team could be challenging for the title, could be winning trophies, right? And you're going to get way more than £4 million by winning trophies and finishing higher up the league. So you will get, there might not be a return on investment, but that money you spend, you will make significantly more money than you spend on Mike Maignan with what he'll be able to do in terms of helping the team. So at the end of the day, look, Petrovic will probably be number one. Do any of us really 10 million? Yes, so 10 million euros is about £5 or £6 million gap. So really what we're saying is from reports, it's between 4 and 8 million, basically. The gap's between 4 and 8 million, chat, on depending on. But bro, this is the thing, right? People keep saying, oh, we can wait and get him for free. Where's the guarantee that we're getting him for free? Why are you so confident we're getting him for free? Because when he's available for free, loads of clubs will suddenly come to the table. Loads of clubs will come to the table. Bro, Milan can do what they want. You know, they have their valuation and they stuck to it. Their valuation is very, very fair. Very, very fair, in my opinion. And in a lot of people's opinions, that's very fair. He's their captain and their number one. This is not some dead squad player that they're asking for silly money for. This is not a dead squad player they're asking for silly money for. This is their number one and their captain. They've got every right to ask for 20 million quid. And that is not a lot of money to spend. Not a lot of money to spend at all. You know, we need to back the manager. The manager needs to be backed big time. In January, he wasn't backed when we needed a striker. He wasn't backed in January when we needed a striker. He got us Champions League football. And now we're not backing him with a top-class goalkeeper. And don't fall for the briefs that we're happy with the current goalkeepers and Maresca never asked for a goalkeeper. You know, and people that are cooking people for saying this deal was never going to happen, they obviously don't understand how our directors operate and who our directors are. Sure, we absolutely do. We absolutely do. We have every right to walk away as well. But Milan aren't the ones that look stupid. Milan aren't the ones that look stupid here. We are the ones that look like utter idiots because we honestly thought no, I know the window's not closed. The Club World Cup window closes at 7 p.m. Maignan not happening, chat. Mike Maignan is not happening. You know, this is a perfect opportunity to back a manager and get him a top-class goalkeeper. And you just haven't done it. Why? We look stupid because we longed this out for over a week and we honestly thought they were going to reduce their asking price to what we wanted. They weren't. So we could have found that out after a day or 2 days of conversations. But we longed it out for over a week. We made it out like we were going to complete this deal. We dangled the Mike Maignan stick. These men had no intention of completing this deal. They had no intention of completing this deal whatsoever. You know, it's okay to criticize the club. It doesn't mean you don't love Chelsea. It doesn't mean you don't support the club. It's okay to criticize the club and say that they've dropped the ball here. They've fumbled it. They've bottled this deal. It's okay to say that. No problem. Doesn't mean that you don't support the club. What it means is that you want the best for the football club. Yeah, of course they have. Of course they have. Yeah, honestly, and you lot saying, oh, we're going to get him for free. No, get out of here. Chelsea have ended Mike Maignan interest for this summer. Chelsea's current 4 goalkeepers are now going to battle it out to become first choice. Maresca never asked for Maignan. So Fabrizio was lying. So Fabrizio was lying when he said that Maresca wanted Maignan. So that's it. So that's it, guys. Mike Maignan, ciao, arrivederci, have a nice day. See you later. No Mike Maignan at Chelsea. That was the opportunity to do the deal. We fumbled it. Our arseholes fell out, and that's it. Done. Done and dusted. What a joke. What an absolute joke. We've literally, this is it, spot on from Cammy. You know, we've wasted 10 days here. 10 days we've wasted. 10 days. As I said earlier on Twitter. What a complete and utter waste of everyone's time, chat. It was a waste of everyone's time. A complete and utter waste of everyone's time. This is, I'm sorry, but this is in my opinion, this is indefensible. This is indefensible. Indefensible not to have done this deal. It's indefensible. It really is, chat. There's no excuses anymore. No excuses not to have got this deal done. And we're out here pissing about over £4 million, chat. I mean, what is that about? And this here is spot on. This here is absolutely spot on. So everyone that was saying, by the way, we'll just get him on a free, or we can sign on a pre-contract in January. Guys, it's done. It's done. We're not getting a goalkeeper, or we're going to get some shit guy. So don't come at me and saying, "Oh, we'll just get him for free." Oh yeah, we'll just we'll just wait. You know, the club were right to hold their ground. They were this and that. No, they weren't. They operated like clowns. They operated like absolute clowns, and we've missed out. We've missed out because we refused to pay £4 million. It's bullshit. But let me bring this up because this is spot on, because we don't operate like a serious football club. This here is spot on. My biggest gripe is the fact that we continually use journalists as mouthpieces throughout each transfer saga to create a buzz. Man City linked to Reinders, Man City bid for Reinders, Man City increased bid, Man City buy, here we go. Facts. I think what our owners need to learn is you can't dangle the carrot in front of the fans, then snatch it away. All that does is infuriate them. I understand how it works. I can see how the games are played. But ultimately, the only ones who look stupid here are our directors and owners. If they want to improve the relationships with the fans, go back into stealth mode and announce players like we did with Neto. I mean, I don't... Bro, we're not getting him for free. What basis... What evidence are you basing that on? What evidence are you basing that on? Why do you think we're getting him for free? Can you just please explain why you think we're getting him for free? Why do you think that? I'd love to hear it. Why you think we're getting him for free? But this is so true. I don't closely follow other clubs' transfer business like I do with Chelsea, but you don't get this sort of thing with other clubs. You just don't get it, do you, chat? You don't get it. Man City, you're just hearing about link, bid, improved bid, deal done. Yes, he said he wanted to join a club. That's fine. But if you want to lap up the briefs, and if you want to think that he's going to join for free when he's going to have his pick of any club he wants, then I think you're very much mistaken. If he ends up signing for free, fair enough. I'll take the L, no problem. But all I'm saying is that there's a way to operate. And when you dangle the stick in front of the fans and you fail to deliver, you infuriate them and you lose trust in them. This is facts. We don't have that pull. Players aren't going to see their contracts out for fucking Chelsea. They will for Real Madrid or a Barcelona or something, but players aren't going to see out their contracts for Chelsea. Not every top club needs a goalkeeper. And let's wait and see if anyone else goes in for him this summer. Let's wait and see if anyone else goes in now that we're out the way. But I don't see any world now in which we get him on a free transfer. We tried to exploit an opportunity. We bottled it. And now they need to learn that exactly. Almost without fail, these sort of things here, like Pedro Neto, like Renato, I mean, obviously not Renato Vega in terms of the quality of the player, but just deals like that. Just deals like that. Because this constant playing everything out in public every single step of the way is infuriating fans. It is absolutely infuriating fans. No, bro, it says that Chelsea have ended their interest. Have ended interest in Mike Maignan for this summer. Now, again, I'm sure we'll try and be there in January, maybe for a pre-contract, or maybe we'll try again afterwards. Who knows? Who knows? And a lot of people are just letting the club and the directors off the hook, or they've got memory issues. We ended last season well, guys, despite the fact that the directors made the squad worse in January, despite the fact we had a bang average transfer window. We didn't have a good season because of their work. And for those people, today is a reminder of that and is a big reality check for you lot, a massive reality check for you lot. Today is that reality check that a leopard never changes its spots. These directors will never change. This is what we do, and this is who we are. This is who we are. And that was the reminder today. That was our fact check today. And I honestly don't believe we have any intention of signing any top class players this summer at all. I don't believe we do. We can say we do. We can pretend we're interested in players and make it out like we're going to go for them. I don't think we've actually got any interest in signing any top class established players this summer. I don't see it. One of Sanchez or Petrovic will be sold this summer. And I tell you what, chat, if Robert Sanchez is number one next season and they sell Petrovic, yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, chat. People don't like the truth, but this is a reality check. This is who we are now, chat. This is who we are. This is what we do. And now Gittens is not going to be joining either. Gittens is not joining the football club either. Well, certainly, I mean, he's not joining before the deadline tonight. But right now, I've got a genuine concern right now that they're going to sell Petrovic, and we're just going to be in the same goalkeeping situation as we were in last summer. The same goalkeeping situation, chat. It's long out here. It's long out here. Guys, over 400 of you in the building, only 164 likes. Please keep smashing that like button. Get this over the 200 likes mark, chat. Please make sure you're running it up. Bro, if we sell Petrovic and Sanchez is the number one next season, yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. But, you know, what else can we possibly say? This is not a surprise. Is any one of us surprised that this didn't happen? Is any one of us surprised this didn't happen? Is any one of us surprised that we didn't do this deal? I don't think a single one of us is surprised. And what should happen with our goalkeepers is very simple right now. Petrovic should be number one, Jorgensen 2, Penders to Strasbourg, and Sanchez sold. That is what should happen. Do any of us believe that this should actually happen? Does anyone believe that that's actually going to happen? Bro, Sanchez can't believe his luck right now. Sanchez cannot believe it. We're about to get a season 3 of Robert Sanchez chat. Season 3, Robert Sanchez, potentially. That can't be ruled out. And don't fall for this nonsense that Maresca didn't want a new goalkeeper, that he didn't ask for Maignan. Because he did. Of course he did. Of course he asked for a new goalkeeper. Of course he asked for Mike Maignan. He wanted him. And they want us to believe, and you want us to believe that they trust the goalkeepers. Nothing, by the way, nothing says full trust than trying to replace your current goalkeepers with someone better than them. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. Yeah, I absolutely hear you on this as well. At some point, Maresca's got to be thinking, hang on a second. What's going on here? What is going on here? Because I've done a great job last season, and I'm not being backed. I'm not being backed in the window. I'm not being backed in the window. What's going on here? Like, I've done a good job. I've got us back in the Champions League. I've won the first trophy under your ownership. And now I've not been backed. Yeah, okay, you got Delapin. Chance to get a great goalkeeper. You didn't take it. You did not take it. If I'm Maresca, I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming. Bro, this is what I'm concerned about. This is what I'm concerned about. Because who on earth is paying money for Robert Sanchez, chat? This is the thing. Who's paying money for Sanchez? I'm really unsure here. I'm really unsure about who is paying money for Sanchez. And now we're in a worst case scenario where they do sell Petrovic. Yeah, it's grim out here, chat. It is grim. But let's move away from Maignan because, yeah, it is what it is. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look because apparently, chat, let me bring this Gittens thing up. Because Sky in Germany are reporting that they... So, this is Fabrizio here. After Maignan deal off for this window, Chelsea remain in active talks to sign Gittens. Also, in this case, deal not guaranteed to happen by end of deadline today. Talks with Dortmund will continue. Chelsea want Gittens, even if it's later in the summer. No rush. And then we're getting reports from Germany saying, so Chelsea probably don't want to pay more than 40 million for Gittens, right? And that's where I hear it. As I said before, there are certain deals that you hold firm with, and there are others where you pay the money because it's good value. Borussia Dortmund wants 60 to 70 million euros for Gittens. That's considerably more than we're prepared to pay. Now, obviously, I don't think we're in a massive rush to get this Gittens deal done, but it's a bit of a concern because we're going to go to the Club World Cup with Madueke and Neto. So basically, we're going to the Club World Cup chat with our only wingers as Neto, Madueke, and George. Those are our three wingers for the Club World Cup. Neto, Madueke, George. Neto and Noni have been on international duty after the Conference League win. Neto's been in the Nations League campaign. Noni's been with England. We're flying to America on Friday. Madueke's playing for England tonight, Tuesday night. We're going to America with three wingers. Three. No, fuck Felix. I don't even know if they'll take Felix. Well, not according to The Athletic. The Athletic said we've ended our interest this summer. Now, of course, things can absolutely change in football. There's no doubt about that, chat. Things can 100% change in football, for sure. But yeah, right now we're going to the Club World Cup with three wingers. So it's going to be a huge opportunity for Tyreek George. A massive opportunity. A massive opportunity. So, again, just lastly, by the way, Petrovic's got a release clause in his contract as well. I don't know what the value of the release clause is, but I think it's almost a certainty. Not a certainty, but I think there's a high chance that Petrovic will be the one sold. But I mean, this Gittens deal, I'm a bit more relaxed about it. Although going to the Club World Cup with three wingers is not ideal. We could have done with him before the end of this window. Maybe it still happens in the next 6 hours. I don't think so, but maybe it does. Sure, we can register him for the knockout stages. I get that. But that might only be one, possibly two matches. And it just seems a bit pointless, a bit of a waste of time. So there's a huge gap, by the way. There's a huge gap, by the way, in valuation between Chelsea and Dortmund on a deal for Gittens. There's a big valuation. Big valuation. I've realised as well, by the way, chat, I've missed the super chat earlier. Let me go back to that. Big up to Ghost. Read the other tweet. It's for this short window. That must have been referring to something earlier, which we've now covered. But yeah, brother, thank you for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. Yeah, no, bro, mate, you're spot on. Absolutely spot on. You know, there's a long way to go, by the way, but things seem to be repeating themselves. Things appear to be repeating themselves, chat. And it's not good things either. Not good things. I don't think Bayern will go for Gittens. I don't think they're that interested. They have had him on their list, but he's not a priority. Yeah, no, it's done and dusted. Done and dusted. I mean, look, Paez is not a winger, but we might end up having to use him out there because we've only got three options: George, Madueke, and Neto. So yeah, we might have to end up using him out there, chat. We might have to end up using him out there. Yes, we can, potentially, but do you really think he's going to come on a free when he can choose whatever club he wants to go to? And loads more clubs will become interested on a free. Because we don't have that Real Madrid pull. We don't have the Real Madrid pull. You know, players won't wait for Chelsea on a free transfer. You know, do you know what? He might sign for us on a free. He might sign for us on a free. But ultimately, on a free, anyone can come in, and more clubs will come out the woodwork when he's available on a free. So there we go. I mean, we're not going to sign a goalkeeper this summer now. Exactly. It's not a, why are we already throwing it ahead to next year? There'll be a huge signing on fee on a free transfer as well. So a deal would probably end up costing you actually more. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, seriously, chat. Honestly. Honestly. For fuck's sake. Well, we need look, Maignan would have improved us this season. I mean, apparently there's more shit coming out about this Maignan stuff and about goalkeepers. Let's have a quick look. Chelsea were not looking at recruiting a goalkeeper until they were offered Maignan. Chelsea are now unlikely to sign a goalkeeper this summer. Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't think we will sign a goalkeeper this summer. They viewed Maignan as an opportunity, and they bottled the opportunity. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. And we're getting embarrassing briefs from the club. Embarrassing briefs. And we've just wasted everyone's time. We've just wasted it. It's just a complete and utter waste of time in all departments. We're talking about between £4 to £8 million. And we flopped it. So yeah, there's not going to be any transfer news for the rest of the day. I wouldn't have thought. We're not going to sign Gittens before the Club World Cup, so both deals are not going to happen for the Club World Cup. It'll be Delap added to the squad, and then obviously yes, there's going to be Mamadou Sarr, then it's going to be Andre Santos, there's going to be Petrovic, and there's going to be Kendry Paez and whatnot, and Delap. So there's going to be 5 players who weren't in the squad last season who will be in the Club World Cup squad. But ultimately, it is very, very disappointing that we're not adding more players. It's disappointing that we fumbled Maignan. It's disappointing that we're not going to agree a deal for Gittens in time. Don't know an awful lot about him. I know he's done reasonably well at Strasbourg. He's a young centre-half, exciting talent. Not really sure what the plan's going to be for him next season, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But I would like to see him in action in the Club World Cup, and he could do potentially quite well. They could be. They could be, but let's be honest. The way that we operate in the market, I don't think we're that intelligent enough to do that. I don't think we're intelligent enough to do that. By the way, chat, still almost 400 in the building. Keep smashing up the likes. Let's get this to 250 if we can on the likes. Run it up. Run up those likes. And keep smashing that subscribe button as well, chat. Road to 20k. All the support would be greatly appreciated. We're 38 subs away now from 16.8. So keep smashing the button. Let's run it up. Run these subscribers up, chat. So yeah, there we go. We're not getting a goalkeeper. Wait, if you think it's okay, if you're happy with the club bottling a top class goalkeeper over £4 million, if you're happy about that, then I would question your trail of thought. Like, why do you think it's okay to walk away from a deal over £4 million for a top class player in a position that we really need to improve at a price that's not ridiculous at all? Please tell me why you think that's okay. Because this is yet another deal for a top player, and when push comes to shove, we didn't do it. We did not do it when push came to shove. We were incapable of doing it. So, yeah. It's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. It's just stupid, isn't it? It's just a complete waste of... Yeah, Esteval is going to the Club World Cup, but not for us. He's joining us afterwards. He's going to be with Palmeiras for the Club World Cup, and then he's going to join us after the Club World Cup. So he will be at the Club World Cup, but not for us. No, I'm not saying that Petrovic is trash. What I'm saying is, though, is Maignan is better than Petrovic, and we had an opportunity to sign Petrovic, to sign Maignan, and we fumbled it. But they aren't. That's the point. You know, if they were asking for like 30 or 40 million, be like, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But they weren't. They were asking for £20 million. 20 million they were asking for. So, yeah. No, they won't. Not everyone's going to do the same. This is what people don't realize, right? And there are certain deals you should stand your ground on and be firm with, like a Gittens, like an Ekatike, for example. £20 million for Maignan and arguing over £4 million. You pick your battles. That's not one to pick. And the only people who look stupid are the club. Milan don't look stupid. The only people this is embarrassing for is Chelsea. Bro, Magnan's better than Petrovic. Where's this Petrovic glaze coming from? I like Petrovic, right? And I think he's a good goalkeeper. And if he's first choice next season, then it's an improvement on what we've currently had. But I don't get where, because people are making out like Petrovic is like the second coming of Petr Cech now. You know, that's what I don't understand. Why are people making out like Petrovic is the second coming of Cech? That's what I don't get. You know, bro, I've already seen it. I've already seen it. You know, and he was spot on. I remember bringing it up on stream the other week, and people were absolutely cooking him for it. And do you know what? He was absolutely right, because he and others know how this club operates and what we do in a transfer market. They know. They know what we do in the transfer market. They know. So, yeah. But we're not getting to Stegen. No, well, I'd like to think that wouldn't be the case. I would like to think that would not be the case. But with Chelsea, you know, you can't rule these things out, chat. These things can't be ruled out, can they? They really can't. I honestly don't understand how people are saying with confidence that Petrovic is better than Maignan. I don't understand. I really don't get it. I mean, are you basing that off last season? If you're literally purely basing it off like half a season last year, then that's a very What, super consistent based on one season at Strasbourg? Super consistent based on one season at Strasbourg? Come on. Like, let's be real here. I like Petrovic, and he'll be better than our current goalkeepers, 100%. Well, look, we've inquired. The price is 100 million euros. We don't want to pay that price. Maybe it might come down later in the window. Who knows? But right now, a deal for Ekitike hasn't advanced. It wasn't his. No, exactly. It absolutely wasn't Maignan's best season last year, by the way. It absolutely wasn't his best season. But to suggest that because a player had one bad season, that they're shit and they're washed is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Petrovic is absolutely improved, by the way. He's absolutely improved in France, but France and the Premier League are totally different. Totally different, aren't they? France and the Premier League. So, yeah, we have to wait and see. But Milan had a shocking season in general. Milan had a shocking season in general last time out. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. Yeah, except that's not happening, is it, though? That's not happening. It's not happening, is it? It simply isn't happening. No. But hey, it is what it is. I think excellent's a stretch. He was decent. He was decent. Excellent is a big stretch. Big stretch. Well, of course, there's no denying that. Bro, if you don't think one of the world's best goalkeepers is worth £20 million, then I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Of course, it's worth 20 million quid. Of course, he is. 20 million quid is absolutely nothing in this day and age. Forget the fact there's 1 year left on a contract. Forget that. It's like you've got a chance to sign a top class goalkeeper. It's bullshit. It is complete and utter nonsense. What? And you're saying it is happening? All the evidence we've got is dictating that this won't happen. So why do you think it's going to happen? I would love the deal to happen. I want us to sign him. 20 mil for Maignan is peanuts. Absolute peanuts. No, I think he's going to go to Newcastle. I think Newcastle are going to get that wrapped up pretty quick. Newcastle are going to get that wrapped up pretty quickly. So yeah. Yeah, but bro, he's got 1 year left on his contract. Mount had 1 year left on his contract. United paid 55 million for him. Like, there's certain deals that you should be penny pinching on. This is not one of them. 20 million quid for one of the best goalkeepers in the world to improve a position that you desperately need to improve, I just think it's embarrassing from us. All over £4 million. Like 20 million quid is not a rip-off. If we'd said to any Chelsea fan at the end of the season, you're going to sign Mike Maignan for 20 million this summer, hardly anyone would have said it was a bad deal or being ripped off. I just don't see 20 million quid as being bad value for money. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't see it as bad value for money. Look, ultimately, it's at the end of the day, it's all opinions, and people have got different opinions, and that's absolutely fine. But I just don't see how we're going to get him. And yes, look, of course, he can sign pre-contract in January and whatnot, but so many more clubs will be in the race. So many more clubs will be in the race. And look, if people think we're right to hold our ground, that's fine. That I haven't got a problem if people think that. For me personally, I just think it's unacceptable to yet again miss out on a top player over a few million quid. We messed up on Elise. We thought we could get Osimhen for the price that we wanted, and we waited and waited and waited, and we knew that they weren't going to drop their price. And it's the same with Maignan. We would have known after 1 or 2 days they weren't dropping their price. They weren't going to change their minds, and we longed it out for over a week. If we hadn't briefed that Maresca's season is perfect for his system, he's approved the transfer and whatnot, and we just walked away after day 1 or day 2, I'd be much less annoyed. It's the fact that they just dangle the stick there, make it out like they're going to go and sign him, and then they don't. That's the most annoying thing. That's the most annoying thing is that we made out like we wanted him, when actually it was poor. Yeah, he's not going to re-sign. And yeah, he wanted Chelsea because Chelsea were the only team in for him in this Club World Cup window. Now, I would imagine that more teams will come in. Clubs aren't stupid. When a player's available on a free, more clubs will come to the table, and it will make it more different. It'll make it more difficult for us to get him. If we end up getting him on a free and we agree a pre-contract deal in January, fine. Hold my hands up. We were wrong. I just personally feel that for us to fumble this deal and bottle it over over 4 million quid is unacceptable. That's my current stance on it. Well, I hope so, but I don't think we will. I don't think we will, bro. Yes, big up to Top Dog for the super chat. Called this out coming Benson's stream yesterday. These SDs are embarrassing. Yeah, no, I know. Bro, this is the third one now. This is the third one. This is the third one now. Yeah, look, that didn't particularly work out, but at 12 million, you're going to make money on your investment, aren't you? And at 12 million, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, look, Petrovic was good last season, and if he's going to be the number one, cool. But let's wait and see how he does. Yeah. And it is pathetic. I think it's pathetic, and I won't change my view on that. Nothing can convince me that us not paying 4 million is not pathetic. It 100% is. I don't think so. No, because the reports we're getting now is that we're not going to sign Petrovic. We're not going to sign a new goalkeeper this summer, and interest in Maignan for the summer is ended. It's ended. So there we go. You know, I'm not going to change my mind on this. Chat, we're 9 likes away from 250. Keep smashing the like button. Run it up. Run it up. Keep running up the likes, chat, and keep subscribing if you're new around here as well. Let's get this to 250 likes and keep smashing the subscribe button. We're only 29 away now. 29 away from 16.8. Let's get there. Run it up. Run it up. Every new subscriber really helps, guys. Really helps. No, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but yeah, I'm not going to let any amount of glazing or gaslighting change my opinion that us not paying an extra 4 million is anything other than anything other than a disgrace. And I also think it's not about not getting players for the Club World Cup necessarily. It's basically the fear that we don't go back in for these players later in the summer, and we just repeat the mistakes that we made last summer. That for me is a genuine concern, and I think it's a very, very fair point. And I think it's a very, very fair point. You know, that there's a genuine concern that we're not going to go back in for these players, that we're just going to make the same mistakes that we made last summer. No, of course we're not. I think everyone knows that. Well, seemingly everyone should know that. It looks like we're not going to pick up Maignan on a free. Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? They may even look at going in for him this summer. They may even look at going in for him this summer. There's no denying that. Imagine people saying it's toxic to not think the worst of the club you support. By the way, people are funny, right? Because people think that unless you blindly applaud everything the club does, you don't support the club. Support is about being balanced, praise where it's due, criticism where it's due. And this is a situation where criticism is absolutely warranted. Absolutely warranted. You know, and the briefs are just embarrassing. They get more embarrassing every single one that comes out. So, yeah. Honestly, this club. Yes, big up, brother, again for the super chat. Greatly appreciate a donation. Just know the smug arseholes when Stanley and Stewart are patting themselves on the back for not paying what Milan want. It is a small club mentality. Of course, it's a small club mentality. It shows that we're not serious about improving the team. It shows we're not serious about improving the team. That's where we're at with this. That's where we're at. Like you're not interested in improving the team with top players. You know, very, very simple, chat. You're clearly not interested in doing that. So, yeah, there we go. Well, I hope not. I hope not. Yes, big up again, brother. Appreciate you. Also, another indication that we have idiots running the club is how public. Yeah, you know, this is I was talking about this earlier in the stream. We've got to stop making all these transfers so public. We've got to stop doing it. You've got to stop putting all this information out there. You know, because if you miss out, you end up looking like idiots and pissing off the fans. We've got to try and be a bit more discreet in our transfer dealings, like we were with the Pedro Neto situation. We've got to get back to doing that. We have to. Oh, bro, if we end up signing Garnacho, yeah, there will be some sort of catastrophic. Bro, there'll be biblical head losses going on. It will be biblical levels of head loss if we if we miss out. Unlikely in terms of being signed today. Yes, very unlikely. But in terms of before the season starts, that's the deal that I think probably will still happen. But yeah, right now it's not like it's not going to happen before. It's not going to happen before before the 7 p.m. deadline. Absolutely no chance. I mean, this Club World Cup tax is just another excuse. Another excuse. Two seconds, chat. 2 seconds. Let me just quickly respond to this. Yeah. Sorry, chat. Another brief has been released. What brief is that? Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. We've got more news coming out. Mad. Yeah, mental. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know why we're prepared to walk away from that deal over such little money. Such little money. It's just stupid. It is just completely and utterly stupid. Yeah, exactly. Blue is the color. Briefing is the game. Blue is the color. Briefing is the game. Yeah, I know. We're not offering big signing on fees and big signing bonuses and big wages that you can get when you're on a free transfer. You know, I don't get what people aren't understanding about that. But yeah, oh well, it is what it is. No, it didn't work. That's exactly what they tried to do. They thought that with Maignan wanting to leave with his contractual status, they thought they could back Milan into a corner and they would cave into their demands. And that simply didn't happen. That simply didn't happen. It didn't happen with Osimhen and it didn't happen with Maignan. We need to realise that these sort of bully boy tactics we're trying are not going to work. So, yeah, peak. Absolutely peak for us. Yeah, mental. Yeah, I mean, the fact that that's even a possibility is sickening. The fact it's a possibility, chat, is sickening. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Um, so yeah, anyway. Bro, of course we had an opportunity to sign a top goalkeeper and we fumbled it. Yeah, of course, not even just Roman. Any serious club would have done the deal. Any serious club would have done the deal. But I don't think we're bending over for him though. This is the thing. Like personally, for me, I don't think that £20 million is an unreasonable asking price. If you asked any Chelsea fans, like, do you think at the end of the season, do you think £20 million is getting ripped off for Maignan? I don't think many would have said yes. Some might have said yes, but I think the majority would have said, "No, this is a good deal." Let's say, for example, if another top club had paid £20 million for Maignan, would we be saying that said club had been ripped off and it was a poor deal? I don't think we would be saying that. I don't think we would be saying that. And I think £20 million is absolutely a bargain. And I think, you know, for example, let's say if Man City wanted Maignan, they would have signed him. They would have, if Man City wanted Maignan and the price was £20 million, the deal would have got done, in my opinion. The deal would have been done. But look, we'll see. Ultimately, you know, people have got different opinions. Like, if people think £20 million is overpaying, fair enough. For me personally, £20 million for one of the world's best goalkeepers. You've got a unique opportunity to upgrade massively in a position that we've struggled in for years, and we've decided not to do it over over 4 or 5 million. I just don't think that makes sense. Yeah, no, they're not right now. They're not, but I suspect that as maybe as the summer goes on, more clubs will come in, or in January certainly, others will come in. I mean, I think other clubs probably haven't come in so far because not everyone in the Club World Cup needs a new goalkeeper, and teams are maybe waiting it out to see what happens. I mean, they might well do after the Club World Cup, because I think in terms of teams in the Club World Cup, obviously not a maybe a lot of teams didn't need a goalkeeper or weren't looking for a keeper for the Club World Cup. Let's wait and see if that changes afterwards. Let's wait and see if it changes afterwards. But regardless of whether teams were or weren't coming in, there's not been any links to another team yet. But I don't think we can completely rule out the fact that there could be someone else coming in. I don't think we can completely rule out the fact that other clubs will come in this summer and that he could still maybe leave Milan this summer. But let's wait and see. Ultimately, for me, I just think it's a big missed opportunity. I think it's a big missed opportunity, and we should have backed the manager and got this player in. But look, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, for me, if Petrovic is in goal, I'm okay with that. But I also don't know if Petrovic will still be here. He's got a release clause in his contracts. I've got no idea. I've got no idea whether we're going to keep him or not. Petrovic should be number one. Jorgensen to Penders to Strasbourg, and Sanchez should be sold. That's what should happen. But I don't think any of us have got confidence to say that that's what's going to happen. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, chat, I'm going to round this one out here. Big love to everyone for tuning in. Appreciate all of the support, people. That was the big news today. Mike Maignan to Chelsea, deal off. Not expected to revisit it this summer, but a lot can change between now and then. Guys, thank you for the support today. Big yourselves up. I'll be back again tomorrow covering all the latest Chelsea news. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate you all. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.